How are you, America? This is George Leith, owner of Leithlandscaping cleaning services. As you know, a lot of people have been losing their jobs around the United States. They gave a furlough about 2 weeks ago in California to all the state workers out there, and all the government jobs out there are on furlough. Is this fair to you, America, that's worked so hard, that's given everything, that's died in different countries, from China, Korea, Vietnam, Germany, England? We fought for the freedom of this nation. It's not fair, is it, that all of a sudden now, the past year or two, we've been scared into the tarp and scared into that the banks are failing. Okay, well, whose fault is that? Is that ours? Did we cause that problem? Well, some of it could be our problem because we did not pay attention to what was going on around us. In 1995, Bill Clinton came around and started causing problems out there, and him and Obama, believe it or not, Obama was part of it too. They got together in a nice private little room where bankers, Freddie and Fannie Mae, were all into this scheme of saying, you know what, we're going to give America what they want. Houses beyond dreams. Okay, fine, so they gave houses to people. But the problem was that they gave the homes to the people that couldn't even afford them. They lied in the paperwork. They lied on how much these people were making. And they just fluffed everything. I've been in car sales for 10 years. I've sold cars. And I never fluffed anything, because the first thing is that I always said it's important to put in somebody in the car that they're going to be able to afford and keep. You don't want them losing the car. You don't want it repoed. You don't even want them having a bad credit, because once that car is paid off 3-4 years down the road, they come back with their family, and then they could get into another car, but they always keep coming back with other friends saying how well they got treated. I always made sure what they could afford. If they were making $30,000 a year, I'd give them a $12,000 car. So that everything was affordable to be paid for them. Now, we were forced into the TARP. We were forced into the 1099 healthcare bill. Is this creating work for you, America? Do you see your paychecks getting bigger? Ask yourself this. You're being held hostage by the government. You're being held hostage also by the bankers. The bankers are holding you hostage with Freddie and Fannie Mae, which are part of Bill Clinton, Obama, and good old Kennedy, that's no longer around, and Bernie Frank. You gotta love the guy. And yeah, sure, a lot of banks will tell you, oh, you know, we were forced into giving loans. We were forced into giving loans to people, but they forced us. Oh, boo-hoo. Okay? Freddie and Fannie Mae could have gone down. And all those bankers that say they were in problem, they could have gone down too. We would have been recuperating already in this year. Wall Street would have been fine. Jobs would have still been going on. Yeah, maybe it would have been a little bit tight for the first year, but then after that, we'd still have jobs out there. Think about it, America. We are being held hostage right now by the politicians and also by the bankers. There are lobbyists out there that are, you know, they want to create havoc out there. Is that fair to us? Is it fair for all the people that died out there in World War I, World War II? Is it fair to their families on how hard they worked to be able to preserve our freedom and to be able to have pride and joy in their factories that were closed down in '95 after good old Bill Clinton signed everything off? And then what did he do? Oh, that's right. He got involved with somebody. Is that leading by example? No, it's not. What kind of president does that? Well, this guy has no backbone, nor does Obama. He has no backbone. You tell me one person that's been leading by example, and it's up to you, America, to lead by example too. Let your voices be heard today. Say no more health care bill. Put an end to taxes, high rate taxes, because what's going to happen, jobs will be lost. 2011 comes around, America will be losing more jobs because small businesses are not going to be able to afford to pay the taxes of what the government's going to rape you with. Is that fair to you? Is it fair to your neighbor? No, it's not. So be ready. Speak up, America. Grab the bull by the horn. Tell them. Tell your congressman. Tell your senator. Tell your whoever you can speak to that's in office. And let them know that, you know what? We put you in these jobs. You work for us. We don't work for you. Another thing. If you want to really take control of things, take your money out of all these banks that accepted the TARP and watch how Congress and the government and even the president and all those greedy individuals that cause this problem, you watch how they start changing and they start listening to America. Why should you have to bail these people out for their own faults? Tell me, America, why should you? You shouldn't. When I made a sale one day, I sold the car, showed the car, I told the guy it's a plain car, there's no alarms in it, but I didn't write things down. What happens? The car came in, I called up the customer and he said, George, this car, I don't want it. It doesn't have an alarm system. I'm like, what? I said, well, I told you the car that I was showing you was plain. Well, I should have been more responsible and written it down so he would have understood on what he was getting. So I said, okay, you know what? Give me a second. I go and see my boss. I said, how much for an alarm? They said $1,500. I said, okay, I will pay for it. I didn't ask for a bailout. I didn't tell the house to, oh, please bail me out, please, you know. It's not fair because other salesmen took advantage of that. They're like, hey, listen, you know what? If you don't want to help me out, there won't be no sale. And they bailed them out. But these people had no backbone. I have a lot of backbone. And the thing is that I am responsible for my own problems that I create and also that I can fix. I don't ask for nobody's help out there to bail me out. I paid the $1,500 for the alarm. I tell the customer, okay, Mr. Customer, the alarm is going to be installed. I'm paying out of my own pocket. He looked at me. He said, George, you're willing to do this? And I said, yes, I am, because it was my fault that I did not write it down or clearly speak to you about what was not included into this car. So I took responsibility. And this is what we need to take, America. Responsibility for our own actions, which a lot of these people, they have no backbone for that. They say, bail me out, bail me out, bail me out. All they want is a bailout. Is that fair to you? No. You've worked hard for your money. Your parents slaved back in the 60s so you can go to school. And they made sure that you lived a really good life. But back to the story that I was telling you about the sales that I was making. The customer goes, George, I'll pay for half. He paid half, I paid half. But there was no bailout. And that's where my point is about life. We never needed to give these bankers a bailout or Wall Street. Because all these people, they could have sunk Freddie, Fannie, they could have sunk down to 2. Sunk all the way down. Okay? But a year later, we would have been back to normal. The thing is that people have to take responsibility for their own actions. But also, to America, do not be held hostage by all these threats that the government or the bankers or CNBC, MSNBC, CNN tell you, oh, you know, we need to have this bailout. We need to. No, we don't need nothing. We don't need no 1099 health care bill. We don't need no more bailouts. The people that voted for this TARP, don't vote for these people anymore. Kick them out of Washington. The people that accepted TARP, take your money out of your banks. They accepted. Ask them, did you take any TARP money? Did you take my hard-earned money? Because if they did, say, I want to close my account and I'm going to go somewhere else. Don't be afraid. They can't say no to you. They have to give you your money back. Grab the bull by the horn, America. The most important thing to do is not allow to be bullied around. Because bullying is no fun. People always get hurt and they end up losing their jobs. And then they get all distressed, which they're doing now. Look what happened in, where was it? Some city where some guy was sitting on the roof ready to kill himself because he couldn't take it no more. He was tired of life. And this is what's happening. A lot of people are falling under stress. Also, too, the most important thing, trust in God. People will lie. Government will lie to get to where they need to get to. But always trust in God. Keep God first before anything else. Then after that, then start focusing on the people that you're putting into office. They work for you, America. You don't work for them. We got bullied into this TARP. We got bullied into the 1099. But there was a few people out there that stuck up for us. John Boehner, he was a really good man. He stuck up for us. And a few other people. If you watch the news, I'm sure you know their names. In America, I wanted to thank you for listening, and I look forward to talking to you again pretty soon. Down the road, as election time comes around, it's important to stay focused on what we need, and that's put America back to work. Trust me, greed is good as long as it's not cause any pain or you're stealing from somebody else. You could still be greedy and not cause no pain to nobody without stealing money and be able to create jobs and put America back on track. And thank you very much for listening to this. Have a good night.